it's Brittany with Find Your Fierce Coaching, and tonight is the first installment or the first episode of a series that I'm going to be doing called Be Your Own Advocate. So the motivation behind this is really about finding some things that have been going on with me in my depression, and you guys have, a lot of you have been alongside with me through I'm sorry, my tripod's a little crazy. But you guys have been alongside with me. But for those of you that haven't heard my story, I'm going to give just a brief rundown so you kind of understand where I'm coming from. Hey, Rachel, and kind of see where I'm going and kind of the inspiration behind this series, because I'm really into being your own advocate, especially for your health. Okay, so about 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago, it would have been November of 2013, I had an implant placed in my arm as a form of birth control, and I did not take the time, those pamphlets that they give you at the pharmacy with the prescriptions, and they tell you all these horrible side effects that you could have, and you kind of just dismiss it, right? Because doctors wouldn't prescribe you something that wasn't going to work for you, right? So I'm sure that they told me the benefit or the side effects, but I just didn't listen. Okay, I didn't need to know that. So I got the implant on. Some things in my personal life changed. Travis started traveling for work. I started becoming much more depressed and down, and I equated a lot of it to my just new life. I moved an hour and a half away from home, where all my friends and family were, and then Travis was the only person I really knew, and he started working out of town. And so it was interesting, to say the least. And so I never ever put two and two together and realized that this depression started when I also got the implant on. Okay, these things happen simultaneously. So there was a lot of things that happened in my personal life over the last 3 years where I thought, gosh, this depression, it's just me. I have some crap in my life. Okay, and so trying to think exactly. In February of this year, so February 2017, I had a friend reach out to me and post something that she was going to be doing some, she works at the LCC, or she's a student at LCC doing some dental clinic work, and going to school to be a dental hygienist. And she said she had a free opening, I should come in. And I haven't had health insurance since 2013. I haven't had dental and vision insurance, I think, in 5 years. So I don't know what that'd be, 2012, 2011 maybe. And so I was like, you know what, I haven't had my teeth cleaned in years, I'm gonna go in. Well, when I went in, they have to do a whole kind of a normal I don't know, a medical exam, right? So the dentist comes in, and he's he's like, oh my goodness, have you ever had any issues with your thyroid? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. No. So another funny thing that I've actually heard since I started researching my thyroid is that these lines, which I always just thought were oh, your girl needs to lose some weight, is actually a sign of some thyroid problems too. So this is all kind of culminating. The dentist seems very concerned. He throws out the C word, okay? And I don't even want to say it, but I will. Cancer, because one side is incredibly inflamed, the other side is actually inflamed, but in comparison, it's my right side looks massive and feels apparently massive, right? So I learned about this free clinic. I literally think I paid $15 to go get my teeth cleaned, and obviously I walk away with a brand new fresh set clean teeth, and hey, you probably should go get your health checked. And I was like, I go get my, if I'm sick, I just go to urgent care because I can just pay up front and it's cheaper. A lot of doctors now won't accept you without health insurance. And so I was like, well, we'll kind of, we'll see how it goes, right? Well, I told Travis, I told my mom, they seemed super concerned. So I did end up deciding to go to Planned Parenthood. So if you have been following my journey, you would know that back on March 27th, I had my Implanon removed after doing some severe research and realizing that the depression and anxiety that was quite literally debilitating for me could all be linked back to that Implanon. And I was like, you know what? Maybe my thyroid, because thyroid produces your hormones, right? Maybe my thyroid problem is because of the stinking Implanon. So I was like, we'll see what happens after that gets out. Well, when I went to Planned Parenthood, the amazing staff there, I can't say enough about the amazing staff. They were going on and on about that, the link, that maybe that's not really a link, okay? Like, you can have thyroid issues and not really have, like, birth control issues, okay? So, I decided, I left that appointment, I talked to Travis, I talked to my mom, and I went ahead and called this amazing clinic in Lansing called the Carefree Clinic, okay? So this is a clinic that is run essentially based on donations. They have a behavioral health clinic, which I have seen somebody there before. They have a dentist clinic, they have ophthalmology, and they have a medical clinic. So I called in, and she said, okay, we can get you in, and it's going to be $20. It's just a donation. If you don't have insurance, it's $20. If you're unable to make that donation, let us know. So unfortunately, we can't get you until May. So today was my appointment, and I'll just be honest, last night I was having a little bit of anxiety, like, that I've been putting it off. So, like, then now the, like, C word is back in my mind, like, what if I go in tomorrow and he was like, oh my goodness, there's so many nodules all over your thyroid, like, this is an emergency situation. Kind of got myself a little worked up last night, and then Travis really just reminded me that, positive, to stay positive, to, go in with the mindset that there are so many diagnoses that could be wrong with your thyroid, and cancer is one of, like, I don't know, like 100. So I went in, he felt my thyroid, which he did immediately say, wow, your thyroid is huge. Asked me, they went through, he actually had a student with him, and his name is Dr. Bhatti, I think. It's my first time, I promise. I'll get to know him, I think. Okay. So his student came in, she did my full rundown, asked tons of questions. They did go ahead and get some blood work ordered, because he did seem a little bit concerned, not about the nodules. So there's the, like, yay, we don't think this is cancer, which is great, because at 27, almost 28, ready to get married and have babies, no one wants to see the C word, right? Like, no one wants to go into the doctors. I guess I don't care what age you are or where you're at in your life. No one wants to go to the doctors and hear cancer, because that's just the most terrifying thing that you could ever imagine. Cancer, like, to me, and you may hear this if you ever do any research on thyroid cancer or thyroid disorders. They say that thyroid cancer is the good cancer. Okay. There's no good cancer. Cancer's not a good word. That is not like, yeah, I got some thyroid cancer. Like, no big deal. It is very, very treatable, but no one wants thyroid cancer, okay? So he is pretty convinced that I have some form of autoimmune disorder going around with my thyroid. Not quite sure what, so he did go ahead and order the blood work, and he also ordered some blood work for some blood clotting. They think that I may have an issue with blood clotting. It's a genetic disorder, and I'm probably going to botch it, so if I have any nurses looking on, or anyone in the medical field, I apologize. It is called von Willebrand, I believe, and it's just an issue where your blood just struggles to clot. And there were some other things based on my intake questions that he believed it could be potential. Some of the symptoms may have to do with thyroid issue, but there are some other triggers that are saying maybe a blood clotting issue. Typically, most of that has to do with some of my, more intimate girl stuff that I probably don't need to share on here, okay? But essentially, autoimmune, it's very scary. If you look up autoimmune disorders or diseases, it's terrifying. Like, don't Google it, because you will be absolutely terrified, okay? Because it affects so many different areas. And the scariest fact for me about autoimmune disorder is that when you get one, getting more is really common. It's your immune system is compromised, and essentially what he believes is happening, which again, we won't know anything until the blood work comes back, and I do have a follow-up appointment on May 31st, but he believes my immune system is attacking my thyroid. For whatever reason, it believes that my thyroid is a foreign object, something is not right, and it is attacking and suppressing the production of the TSH or the T4s, the counts that are in your thyroid that, cause it to produce the necessary hormones. And so I know that for some people, being told that you have an autoimmune disorder would be absolutely terrifying. But going and thinking a worst case scenario is cancer, an autoimmune disorder, I'm like, shh, it is totally fine. Like, it is no big deal. And that is because I went in with a mindset that was, worst case scenario. I just got to be real. Worst case scenario is this could be really damaging and life threatening. Okay. And to know that, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to be on some medicine for a long time, probably the rest of my life, if that's what this is, it's daunting, but it's not nearly as daunting as chemo, radiation. There's this thing called RA, and it has to, or RIA, it has to do with like iodine being pumped into your body that will, I'm not an expert, but it has something to do with being able to lessen the goiter, the enlargement of the thyroid. So these are all things like, it's terrifying to hear that you're not healthy, especially, trying to be somebody who is pretty on top of my health. To have potentially something that's going to follow me through life is scary. But that became the motivation to be able to share this with you guys. I want to document my journey with whatever my diagnosis is, and share the process, because I think that the biggest thing that happens, especially to people in my generation, is health insurance is not affordable, and there's a lot of us that get mixed in. When I tried to apply for Medicaid, I was told that I had an extra, or that I made I think it was like $300 a year over the Medicaid limit, which, talk about just break your heart. Like $300 a year, what is that a week? Like $4 or something? That's crazy. $4 a week. You make $4 a week too much to get health care. And unfortunately at the time, during open enrollment, I wasn't able to sign up for Obamacare. I'm sorry, Affordable Care Act insurance on the marketplace. And so here I am, no health insurance, having some concerns about my health, did not know about the resources, and slowly started piecing them together after going to, one sort of free resource to another sort of free resource, and kind of plotting my way through different kinds of doctors, different kinds of services in the Lansing area. And I realized that no, Amber, I can't. I have tried so hard to get insurance. Amber said I could still get health insurance. I've applied. Believe me, when I found out about potentially needing to see an endocrinologist, I went back through. I've talked to my local county. I've talked to the state. I can't get anything, unfortunately. So everyone just keep your fingers crossed that Travis and I actually get married in September so I can get some health insurance. But anyway, so I didn't know about these free resources, and even so, a lot of these places that are for low income or no health insurance, you can still be seen. Okay, so this doctor's office, they still see people with health insurance. Okay, so it's not just a resource that if you don't have health insurance, you can go there. If you are somebody that even with health insurance struggles with your copays or things like that, you can still go. There are still resources. I know of this as a fact in Lansing. I want to, help you advocate for your own health in other areas of the country, because I'm not alone at 27, 28 years old, no health insurance, and I'm not low income, but my income is very well divided up in between different budgeting things. I can pay for things, but the nice part about this clinic, because I don't have insurance, when they wrote my blood work, they sent me to the hospital with this special stamp on my blood work paperwork that said that I don't have to pay. So I didn't even have to pay for any of my blood work, which is amazing, okay? That is the coolest thing, because blood work is expensive. Like, it's really expensive. So, not, on top of the doctor's visits and then the follow-ups and such. And so I wanted to share my journey figuring out what's going on with my thyroid, but also being your own health advocate and listening to your body, because after I had the implant removed, I feel way better, okay? So the really, I don't want to call them self-harming thoughts, because I didn't ever want to harm myself. But those kind of negative, borderline suicidal thoughts, completely gone. Where before, being a day late on paying a bill would send me into a downward spiral that we were never going to pay our bills. And we were going to be broke forever. Now I'm like, oh, it's cool. I'll pay it tomorrow. It's no big deal. And just being able to overcome that, I'm realizing so much of my depression was linked to that implant, but I'm still having the thyroid issue, okay? I can still feel it. It's gross. It's very large and very uncomfortable. And I'm listening to my body. So even though I'm feeling better, I don't feel optimal. I don't feel the best that I can feel, okay? I don't feel 100%. I'm still struggling to lose weight. I'm still losing handfuls of hair every time I shower. I'm still suffering from incredibly dry skin. I still have, it's not really insomnia, but I am struggling to fall asleep and stay asleep, and then struggle with being tired all day long. I apologize, puppy. So these are things that are not good. No matter, great that I don't feel depressed anymore, but there are other things. I don't feel optimal. I don't feel like $100 million every day, and I want to be able to join in and have that crazy energy, doing things and going out on the weekends and hiking and doing those kinds of things. Jill just got on. She said she missed the beginning. Okay, Jill, I'll do a brief recap for you in a message, okay? But anyways, you have to listen to your body. So even though there may be times where you're like, man, I feel better, I've solved this issue. If you're still not feeling 100% and you're not feeling optimal and you're not feeling like you can feel, keep digging, because keep going. Keep pushing yourself to advocate for your health, for your body, because at the end of the day, there's no doctor, there's no person, there's no holistic medicine, guru, nothing that has to live inside of your body. If you aren't 100%, if you aren't feeling like you can walk on water most of the time, something's not right. And keep digging and keep, moving forward on this journey, because this doctor I went to today, he said, listen, this blood work doesn't show what we think it's going to show. That's okay. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep digging deeper. We're going to keep testing for other things. He's like, nobody, especially at 27 years old, should feel this way every day. So we're going to keep going. And it's amazing to have a doctor who wants to be that in tune with what's going on in my body, especially a doctor who works for donation, okay? So that is my first part of my message to being an advocate for your health, and in talking about this journey that I'm going through and seeing exactly how life is going to change over the next couple of weeks as we learn a little bit more about what's going on. So tomorrow I will be coming live again. You guys are going to see me live a lot more, okay? And tomorrow I'll be live again, and we're going to just talk about researching local healthcare services. So if you're not local to Lansing, if you are local to Lansing, find a way to contact me. If you're not local to Lansing, let's dig through this. I want to help you find the resources that are available to you in your area for low income or even moderate income and or people without insurance, because there are so many untapped services in our communities that we are sitting around living with, feeling disease plagued or disorder plagued, and there are all these free resources, and we're just not locking in on them and taking care of that. So if you're somebody who's ready to look and see what's available in your local area, make sure you hop on tomorrow night at 7:30, and I will be coming live to you to discuss finding those local resources and how do you even, get matched up with these amazing services, because I know that Lansing's not the only community that offers these, okay? There are many large cities or areas in the country that have to have these same kinds of problems. This isn't a Lansing problem. This is an America problem, a United States problem, and I want to help you find those resources. So I can't wait to share that with you guys tomorrow night. I appreciate everyone who hopped on and watched the video, and if you do have questions, make sure that you post them in the comments so I can get back to you as soon as possible. And have a wonderful Wednesday evening. Woo!